2026. My name is Michael Jordan Lokomo. We'll start with a look at the headlines. Security to maintain presence at the residence of the NUP President Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu. The NRM Revolutionary Network proposed the Speaker position to be subjected to Parliament. Schools, institutions of learning prepared to receive learners for first term, while the American Center hosts a Super Bowl match party as Seattle Seahawks type events. Yes, welcome once again. My name is Michael Jordan Lokomo, and this is what we have for you tonight. Security has committed to maintain presence at the residence of former presidential candidate and NUP leader Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu. While addressing the press, police spokesperson SCP Rusoke Kituma said that police have not yet compiled the election policing report and are therefore unable to establish the extent of the impact the recently concluded elections may have had on national security and democratic principles. We have details.
From the polling day of the 2026 general elections to date, security has maintained a visible presence at the residence of the former presidential candidate and NUP president Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu in Magere, Wakiso district.
If he commits a very particular offense, like I said earlier when I was talking about these issues, we would certainly either invite him to police or arrest him and take him to court. But at the moment, just know that there are very specific operational postures around his premises in the interest of national security.
Police seem not clear about specific offenses committed by the former presidential candidate.
And I have also shared before that we are doing it for security reasons, in the interest of the security of the country. I have not been given that information yet, but if it ever comes out, I will certainly share it. At the moment, I don't have this information, but I will be eager to share it as soon as it reaches my desk.
Meanwhile, police have dismissed allegations of a curfew in some parts of the country, explaining that the situation is a result of ongoing security snap checks on major highways and night operations in selected areas.
We are not having curfews around. What we are having are spot checks in the interest of security and in line with the execution of our duties. Under the law, the police is allowed. The police has the powers to stop any person and check you.
Security has committed to continuing these spot checks and operations to crack down on ill-intentioned individuals, noting that all actions will be guided by reliable intelligence sources. Abdunasele Lowama and Rogers Komagum for UBC.
A section of NRM youth under the NRM Youth Revolutionary Network has proposed the position of Speaker to be subjected to internal party democracy through primaries. The NRM youth have also backed a proposal that the president be elected by members of parliament.
The NRM Central Executive Committee last month endorsed Speaker Anita Among and her deputy Thomas Taiwa following a meeting chaired by party chairperson and President-elect Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. The SEC resolved that the duo deserved another term, citing their role in advancing party interests in Parliament. Party leaders also point to an existing resolution that follows a sitting Speaker and Deputy Speaker to serve 2 uninterrupted terms. The development comes as Justice and Constitutional Affairs Minister Norbert Mao informally declared interest in the position of Speaker. But speaking at a function in Mbarara, Deputy Speaker of Parliament Thomas Taiwa dismissed Mao's bid. Some NRM party youth under the National Resistance Movement Revolutionary Network are challenging the party top leadership over its endorsement of the Speaker of Parliament Anita Among and her deputy Thomas Taiwa for another term.
We have for long had an endorsement by SEC. In the previous election, it is SEC that determined who became Speaker. But we are here to say that that is an issue of the past.
The youths insisted that the speakership should be subjected to internal party democracy, just like other elective positions within the party.
The NRM has set a precedent whereby every person who is elected into an elective position is voted through a party primary. Where is the party primary for the speaker? Nowhere to be seen. We have a Central Executive Committee that is fronting interests of the aristocracy.
In the meantime, the NRM youth also support a proposal to elect the president by members of parliament.
Why can't they represent us on the issue of the president? We call the national dialogue for the adoption of electoral college.
The agenda is that we should have a shift in the election of the president from a popular vote to an electoral college vote. In which system? Whereby the members of parliament that we elect shall be given the honors to choose the best candidate so that we have service delivery at its peak.
The group plans to propose to the floor of parliament for debate.
We shall take the private members' bill to the parliament, and this bill will be discussed. After being discussed, we shall take the powers to the people through a referendum.
Irene Faith Nantongo, Joseph Muyingo, UBC News.
Uganda police have released a back-to-school advisory aimed at keeping the school-going population safe. The advisory calls for collaboration among all stakeholders to ensure a safe school environment, especially by strengthening school security committees.
As the annual academic year begins, security officials have appealed to the education stakeholders to review and strengthen school security committees to ensure the safety of learners.
The recommendation is that you strengthen access control to the school, you record visitors, check vehicles. It's very, very essential, and ensure security presence, especially at the gates. So that is very, very important.
School managers are tasked to evaluate the functionality of different infrastructures, ranging from the swimming pools and firefighting systems to other relevant access points.
Inspect school facilities for safety hazards, broken buildings, open manholes. We have already said that children by their nature are very playful persons. If a child fell in one of your uncovered manholes, you certainly will not go away free.
Stakeholders in the transport sector are encouraged to be considerate while transporting learners back to school. The Police Directorate of Traffic and Road Safety intends to intensify operations on major roads to handle those violating transport standing orders.
Motorists are reminded to reduce speed, especially near schools, pedestrian crossings, and other busy areas. Obey traffic signs, road markings, and instructions from traffic officers.
School managers are advised to provide proper means of transport for learners without violating road rules.
As parents, what type of this vehicle that is dropping your children or picking them? Is it this type of vehicle that has worn out tires? Of course, employed or used by the school. Who is this driver employed by the school to drive your children? All these things are important. And how many children are being packed or put into these vehicles?
Meanwhile, the Amped Self-Help Network Uganda wants the Ministry of Transport to reinstate the implementation of the express penalty system, saying it would protect learners on the road.
When we had the EPS system working, though the regulations were a bit harsh, we saw people drive more carefully, yeah? We saw people being more, they respected the road signs more. They respected the road regulations. And this was not because they were waiting for a police officer or scared that there's a police officer side, but it's because they knew the system would hold them accountable. Last year alone, we met over 15 children who had lost their limbs to road accidents. And that is a very...
On the 10th of February 2026 across the country, with just hours to the reopening of schools, institutions across Kampala are fully prepared to receive learners for the first term of 2026.
Learners are expected to report back to school tomorrow, February 10th, for the 2026 academic year. UBC TV visited schools in Kampala as they prepare to welcome learners for the new school year. At KCC Ekamocha Primary School, the administration block was filled with parents and new entrants.
We are already set. As you've walked around, you've seen a lot of preparations going on, and as well enrolling in new learners. We are very much set. The support staff is very busy organizing. The teachers are cleaning classes. The support staff also putting their heads together to ensure that the school atmosphere is well set.
The head teacher of the school, Francis Katabia, told UBC TV the school is fully prepared to receive learners, adding that assessment exercises will immediately begin for upper classes.
We have what we call a school improvement plan or a school development plan, which plan specifies all the activities to be done in the term. So that school improvement plan, in a brief, it is called a SIP, has a beginning of term assessment. We call it a welcoming test or welcome exams for the candidates. And those exams are done on arrival. Other classes also do beginning of term exams on Thursday and Friday of every first week of the term.
Meanwhile, the headmistress of Chitante Primary School, Jen Chakua, urged parents to ensure learners report to school early.
The turn-up is always good on day one. Most of the pupils report back because they know we begin with the teaching straight away. We don't waste time. So I know tomorrow the numbers will be big really. So I urge them to bring back all the children so that they can begin the year well. They can begin their classes on day one. They've been home for long, at least now the 2 months. So I know even the children themselves want to come back to school. They are eager to meet their teachers.
At Chitante Primary School, classrooms were being cleaned and an influx of new admissions.
The preparations are going on well. We began with cleaning the classes. That was last week. We've arranged the classes very well. The teachers have worked on the classroom environment. The talking compound, we've put up some of the posters, so we are really ready. You see, the school is very clean.
Education stakeholders have been urged to ensure the provision of quality and adequate education to learners across the country as the new academic year begins. Geoffrey Nyende, the deputy head teacher academics at Kolo Senior Secondary School, also highlighted on how they are set to welcome learners for the new school year, especially as Senior 1 entrants.
We have had several meetings with the various departments, and these include the administrators, the department heads, and just today we have had a staff meeting. In this staff meeting we have discussed how we are going to run the school programs throughout the term and throughout the year. We are going to have class meetings to get to engage the learners, to remind them about the school, what is expected of them, and and they share with us what they expect from us.
Rebecca Nantongo, Stephen Kalisha, for UBC News.
The Minister for Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Museveni, has pledged government's commitment to support the Uganda National Examinations Board UNEB in executing their duties. This was contained in her speech read for her by State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. Jesse Muyingo, at the inauguration of the 12th UNEB board at Hotel Eliana in Kampala. She encouraged the board to fight examination malpractice, among other challenges.
The Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, has encouraged stakeholders to strengthen the integrity, credibility, efficiency and effectiveness of the national examination systems. This was in her speech read for her by State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo, at the inauguration of the 12th UNEB board in Kampala.
This event marks an important milestone in our collective efforts to strengthen the integrity, credibility, efficiency and effectiveness of our national examination system.
The function, which also coincided with the swearing for the UNEB board presided over by Councillor Brian Kajubi, Minister Dr. Muyingo urged the new board also to carry out their duties with strong sense of responsibility, teamwork and patriotism.
As you assume office today, I urge you to approach your duties with a stronger sense of responsibility, stronger sense of teamwork and patriotism. Always remember that the decisions you take will have a lasting impact on millions of learners and on the future of our country, Uganda.
He commended the outgoing board for the efforts to fight practices against UNEB systems, especially examination malpractices. The Executive Director of UNEB, Dan Odong, advised the incoming board to address challenges facing them while doing their duty.
And so I would like to caution, or rather warn you members of the board that are coming in for the first time, that you will be identified as members of the board and you will be approached. Members who are already on have been approached for various favors. So please take note of this.
The incoming board chairperson, Celestino Boa, pledged to deliver quality service.
To curb malpractice, such as improved security, packaging, transport and storage of examinations, monitoring and supervision. However, the Vice has continued, especially through external assistance given by teachers in the examinations room and the use of social media.
The Chief Executive Officer, National Housing and Construction Company, Kenneth Kaijuka, has called for increased budget allocations to improve housing infrastructure. During the company's annual Thanksgiving prayers, Kaijuka noted that while the sector is not included in the tenfold national strategy, government committed to financing 4,000 housing units per year.
Uganda's housing deficit stands at 2.5 million units, while the private sector is narrowing the gap. With a median monthly income of 190,000 Ugandan shillings as of 2020, according to the National Development Plan, 96% of Ugandans cannot afford the cheapest, formally constructed house by a private developer. The National Housing and Construction Company wants government to allow consensual borrowing at low interest rates to enable investment in affordable housing with repayments spread over longer periods.
In Kampala, you need about 300,000 homes. Countrywide, like we said, on an annual, you need to build about 1.5 million housing units. In the National Development Plan, they have provided 4,000 units per year. We hope this funding can be made available.
With banking entities increasingly focusing on commercial lending, affordable housing has forced most urban dwellers to live in unplanned structures with poor roads, drainage and sanitation. During the annual Thanksgiving prayers for the National Housing Corporation in Kampala, The Chief Executive Officer, Kenneth Kaijuka, highlighted on the need for intervention.
As a developing country, now the houses you see in Kampala, most of them they are shanty houses, mud and wattle. Some of them grass thatched. These are not part of the housing for the future. Permanent housing, tiled houses with power, with water running, with sewer systems, then the deficit goes more to about 7 million housing units. And therefore the target must be the 7 million housing units that will take us to the future.
Kaijuka also notes that the current legislative framework does not regulate private sector players in the construction industry.
There is no machinery that supervises this housing countryside. There is housing in the rural establishment at homestead level, but there is also housing in the urban centers. A bit of regulation comes in the urban centers, but the entire construction framework rests with the developer, the family. They identify an architect, they do plans, they start mobilizing materials, and because their financing muscle is weak, so they compromise on some of the input material.
Meanwhile, Archbishop Kazimba Mugalu, who led the service, called upon Ugandans to center their work on God as a foundation for national progress.
God should be priority number one in whatever we do. So we should always have a moment and say, God, I commit this vehicle in your hands.
We thank you so much for watching. From National Housing, let's take a short break.
So, Muchala.
Yes, Daddy.
You know the children are going back to school and things are a bit tight. Huh? For now, why don't you take half of the fees to junior school, and for the school van contribution, we shall pay later. Huh?
Daddy, why don't we pay using MTN Momo, where we stand a chance of winning school fees for a whole year and more? By the way, you can also apply for a school fees loan, and also participating schools can win a school van.
That's right! Win school fees for a whole year and more. Get Momo goodies and a school van for participating schools. You can also apply for a school fees loan. Simply dial *165*80# or use the Momo app.
It's back, bigger and with more business opportunities. It's the Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo, Poate 2026, Uganda's flagship tourism event. Poate 2026 will take place from the 21st to the 23rd of May 2026 at the Speak Resort Convention Center, Munyonyo, under the theme Wanderlust. It's your time to thrive. Yes, it's your time to tap into Uganda's renewed optimism and tourism growth. Tourism stakeholders, travel trade partners, and tourism enthusiasts will be part of the Poate 2026. Come and network with like-minded people and unlock new business opportunities. To participate, register at www.poate.co.ug. Poate 2026 is brought to you by Uganda Tourism Board and partners.
Alright, listen up. Colgate is on a mission.
It's kind of a big thing.
Colgate Herbal uses traditional nature's herbs and combines it with Colgate Science for healthy gums and strong teeth.
New Colgate Herbal with Salt combines traditional nature's herbs with a pinch of salt and Colgate Science. A natural recipe for strong teeth and healthy gums.
So, Muchala.
Yes, Daddy.
You know the children are going back to school and things are a bit tight. Huh? For now, why don't you take half of the fees to junior school, and for the school van contribution, we shall pay later. Huh?
Daddy, why don't we pay using MTN Momo, where we stand a chance of winning school fees for a whole year and more? By the way, you can also apply for a school fees loan, and also participating schools can win a school van.
That's right! Win school fees for a whole year and more. Get Momo goodies and a school van for participating schools. You can also apply for a school fees loan. Simply dial *165*80# or use the Momo app.
Uganda's economic environment is characterized by heightened uncertainty, prompting a cautious monetary policy stance. The Governor, Bank of Uganda, Michael Atingiego, says that the Monetary Policy Committee has maintained the central bank rate at 9.75%.
The Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Uganda has maintained the central bank rate at 9.75% for the month of February. The decision followed a critical assessment of both domestic and global economic conditions, according to the Governor, Bank of Uganda, Michael Atingiego.
The MPC kept the central bank rate unchanged at 9.75%. The CBR band at plus minus 2 percentage points, with the rediscount rate and the bank rate set at 3 and 4 percentage points above the CBR, respectively, resulting in a rediscount rate of 12.75% and a bank rate of 13.75%.
Inflation has maintained below the medium-term target of 5%, reflecting the impact of prudent monetary policy, coordination with fiscal policy, a stable exchange rate, declining global inflation, and favorable food and energy prices. Despite a moderation in economic growth in the 2 quarters to September 2025, high-frequency indicators and forecasts point to stronger economic activity in the quarter to December 2025 and in the second half of the financial year.
So our monetary policy is very strong. And what do? We have very strong tools. The tools, I mean, we can't explain them here and extremely technical, but we have very strong tools that manage money supply. And you have seen that even during elections, it is very unusual. It is extremely surprising that even on the day of election, our shilling instead gained.
Current monetary stance adequately addresses all the issues in terms of allowing a sufficient monetary growth, while at the same time making sure that there is no inflationary pressure arising from that.
However, risks to the inflation outlook, both upside and downside, remain elevated.
On the downside, risks include a sharper than projected slowdown in domestic economic activity, a deceleration in global growth stemming from trade-related shocks and heightened uncertainty, and a decline in commodity prices with these inflationary effects.
Over the medium term, economic growth is expected to strengthen further, rising to an average of around 8%. This outlook is underpinned by accelerated public investment, oil-related and infrastructure development, governmental initiatives, improving global economic conditions, prudent monetary policy, and increased private sector activity. Dennis Igoa for UBC.
UBC News, we thank you so much for watching. Let's take a very short break.
Buza Commissioner.
Welcome to Buza Commissioner. The question we'll answer today is from Joseph, and Joseph says, "Good morning, CG. I would like to know why your staff do not want to give tax clearances. Please help." Joseph. Thank you, Joseph, for this question. Tax clearance certificates is one of the documents that Uganda Revenue Authority gives to our taxpayers who are compliant. So it is required many times when businesses or individuals are bidding for certain opportunities for them to prove that they are responsible citizens that comply with their tax obligations. Or sometimes it is given annually for those businesses, again, who want to demonstrate or present every year that they are tax compliant. Now, Joseph, we are duty-bound, and it is our pleasure as Uganda Revenue Authority to give tax clearance certificates to all our compliant taxpayers. In fact, to demonstrate this, we have automated this process of applying and receiving your tax clearance certificate such that you can get it instantly whenever you need it without any human interaction. So let's first explain what it means to be tax compliant. One of the key indicators to measure your compliance is that you must be current or up to date with your tax obligations. Right from filing, you file all your returns in a timely manner, and you also pay your taxes promptly. So when you are current on your tax obligations, filing and payment, it is an automatic indicator that you are tax compliant. But also, you should be up to date with your contact details. So for example, if I want to reach out to you, we should be able to reach you on your email, on your telephone, so that all your contact details with us are current and up to date. And then, if you're registered for taxes like VAT, you should be using IFRIS, the electronic physicalized receipting and invoicing system. And also, if you're dealing in excisable goods, you should also be using DTS, the digital tracking solution. Now, if you're current and up to date with those technologies, and you're current with your filing, and your contact details are current, then you don't have to deal with anybody. Just go on our web portal, that is www.ura.go.ug, and under domestic taxes, the tab for the domestic taxes on top, just navigate and go to tax clearance certificates, or TCC. You will get your TCC automatically and immediately. However, we also know that in real life, many times we are not up to date with all our obligations. And if you apply and you can't get that instant TCC, then you'll also be informed why. And that is the time for you to reach out and approach any of our officers, especially if you have a tax relationship person, reach out, or the area manager for your area office, and interact with them and explain why you are not current with your tax obligation. For example, you may be having unpaid VAT or unpaid pay as you earn. Please explain this to us. We fully understand that the purpose why you need the TCC is for you to do business and to get money to pay your tax obligation. So where you're not current, don't fear to come. Instead, approach our offices and speak to our officers in charge and let them give you a TCC. You'll make an undertaking that this outstanding obligation, you'll pay it as soon as you are able to pay it. You are not compliant, it requires 100,000, please inform our compliance and ethics officials. That one is a corrupt person. TCCs are absolutely free, and we'll give them to you to enable you to do business. But we give them to compliant taxpayers, and those who are struggling with compliance, we listen to you, you make a commitment, and you become compliant as soon as you're able. Thank you very much, Joseph, for this very good question.
Buza Kamiso now.
Ugandans have got a rare opportunity to watch a watch party for the 60th Super Bowl, in which the Seattle Seahawks beat the New England Patriots at the Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California.
The American Center in Kabalagala has hosted a Super Bowl watch party as the Seattle City Hawks beat the New England Patriots 29-13 to lift the Vinci Lombardi Trophy.
We hosted this event today here at the American Center Kampala because we want to spread the love of American football. It's the Super Bowl, which is the biggest event, most watched event in the United States in terms of sporting events. It's actually the second most popular event for consumption too, behind Thanksgiving. We like to eat, we like to watch sports. So we wanted to spread the love of football. We've been working with the American Flag Football Federation here in Uganda quite a bit to spread the love of football and really educate people on it here in Uganda.
The Super Bowl is the annual game that determines the champions of the National Football League in America and is watched by many across the globe.
In general, the embassy loves to do things related to sports diplomacy. Sports brings people together, and especially as America celebrates its 250th anniversary, you're going to see a lot of Freedom 250, America 250 events planned around sports, whether that's American football, whether that's soccer or football, however you want to call it, or other sports. The Winter Olympics are going on right now, so you'll see some of that from us. World Cup's coming up this summer, and of course Olympics 2028 in LA is coming up. So lots of sports on the way.
American Football Federation Uganda used the occasion to continue its education role to Ugandans.
We are happy to be here today at the American Center Kampala, where we are holding a Super Bowl watch party. The American Football Federation of Uganda, in partnership with the U.S. Embassy Uganda, have come together to put up such a very great show today, and I'm very happy that people have turned up in large numbers. This is very good. It's a very good sign that the game is eventually entrenching into the masses of Uganda.
For most Ugandans, this was the first ever watch party from which many lessons about this globally acclaimed Super Bowl were learnt.
The game has been really nice. What I've learned is that teamwork really pays off and you have to adapt faster so that you can get your wins.
This is Seattle Seahawks' second Super Bowl, and we'll credit lifting it to the exploits of running back Kenneth Walker III, who was named Most Valuable Player.
Well, thank you so much for watching. It being a Monday, we have the front bench just in a few seconds. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa with the whole team as newsroom. Let's catch you at 10 p.m. And for now, we hand you over to Sandra Kahunde, who is going to lead this evening's front bench.
Jordan, and thank you so much for those updates that were coming through as far as current affairs is concerned. News tonight at 8 p.m. Well, my name is Sandra Kahunde, like Jordan has put it, welcoming you for this week's edition as far as front bench is concerned. Thank you for choosing the national broadcaster. Well, tonight we discuss Digital Uganda, how far we've come and how is the process, what are some of the achievements, is every citizen included as far as Digital Uganda is concerned. Tonight we host key players and yes, very interesting panel I should say, as we celebrate the Pearl of Africa. Our panel this evening is to do with the policymakers, those who are in charge of implementation, regulation as far as Digital Uganda is concerned. And tonight I am happy to be having Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, Minister for ICT and National Guidance, joining us for tonight's discussion. You're most welcome, Honorable.
Thank you very much, and good evening, viewers. Happy to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you. And right on next, on to my other guest for tonight, we are having Honorable Nyomi Tembo joining us for this edition. You're most welcome to the program.
Thank you, Kahunde. Good evening, viewers, and thank you very much for this opportunity to share with Ugandans.
Well, we are happy to have them on set, and as we enjoy the Pearl and continue to speak digital this evening, well, before we get into government business, we're going to be having the national anthem.